Hey friends, and welcome to this week's meal prep or food prep. It's going to be a smaller one this week because I am going away. I really like to meal prep because it helps me to prevent food waste and stick to a budget. And it also helps me to just save a little bit of time during the week when I really can't be asked to make a proper meal. So for this week, I'm making some stuffed peppers. Gonna make some pickled jalapenos. I love those, especially at this time of year when I'm starting to make things like tacos and more burrito bowls and things like that. I'm also gonna make some bagels. These have become a staple, but I'm gonna make a green chili and cheddar one. I'm just using the Violife Colby Jack shreds because I have those in the fridge. But if you wanna make this recipe, you can of course use whatever you already have. I'm also gonna make the first fresh basil pesto of the year using homegrown basil. My basil plants have finally got to a stage where I can actually start using them, which is so exciting. And my plants are quite big now, but I'm definitely going to start planting more seeds so that I just kind of have a basil forest. If I have time, I'll also make some apple pie oats, but I'm just keeping it simple this week. So if you're new here, my name is Immy and I make a lot of food content. I also make stuff about intentional living and sustainability. I'm growing a lot of things in the garden this year to try and grow as much of my own food as possible. So if any of that appeals to you, then feel free to give the video a thumbs up, only if you liked it, and subscribe so that you never miss another video. Okay, the bagels will take the longest, so we're gonna get started with those. And because I'm using the oven, I'm gonna make the stuffed peppers immediately after so that they can just go in one after the other. For the bagels, we add yeast and sugar to 340 milliliters of warm water. We'll allow this to bloom for about 10 minutes while we mix our flour and salt. Then add your bloomed mixture to the flour and salt and give it a good mix. We're then gonna knead it for about 10 minutes until it's really nice and silky smooth. Put it in a bowl with a little bit of oil so it doesn't stick, and allow that to rise for about half an hour, depending on how long it takes to double in size. I then split this into 4. Again, I allow these to rise for about 10-20 minutes, and then I put them into a boiling pot of water. I'll then add my toppings and bake in the oven at 425 for about 25 minutes. Oh my god, that is so good. Wow. These are definitely going to be going on rotation now. These are so good. This Violife cheese also really melts nicely, and it kind of goes through the hole, so you end up having a bit of melted cheese at the end, which you can definitely take advantage of, but wow. Oh my gosh, this is so good. The stuffed peppers are very straightforward and you can mix and match. I just chopped up the onion and garlic and I fried them for 4 to 5 minutes. And then I just basically added all the other ingredients. The spices, the brown rice and lentils, the vegetable stock. I gave everything a really, really good mix. Whilst I was doing this, I preheated the oven to 350 and then I just filled those peppers with as much of the mixture as possible. These take about 40 minutes to cook. Once these come out, you can either eat them straight away, or I would highly recommend reheating them when you do eat them, and adding a little plant-based feta as well. So next I decided to make a green avocado crema. This is from Rainbow Plant Life's most recent book. It's pretty much a guacamole, but you're adding things in like 2 jalapenos and a poblano pepper that I charred on the stove first. Then I just shoved absolutely everything else into a food processor and give it a good blitz. Just a reminder, if you do want to check out recipes from a recipe book, you can borrow them from a library for free before committing to actually buying one. And this is a great way just to get a few recipes, especially if you don't want to get the whole book, or just to give something a go. This crema was really delicious and highly versatile. I mostly used it for burritos because that's just my favorite use, but it would definitely be great at a little party or just to dip some things in for a snack. Marinated tofu has become an absolute must every single week because it saves so much time. I press 3 blocks of tofu and put them to the side, and then I basically put everything I want in my marinade into a big glass pot, whatever I'm going to be able to store them in. I like fresh things and I make a lot of stir fries, so I do tend to err on the side of Asian inspired marinades, but there are so many out there and lots of different mixes that you can definitely try. I put the lid on and tumble it around just to get all of those pieces really coated. But because tofu is pretty stable, this should last at least 5 or 6 days in the fridge. I was so excited to use my fresh basil because it just tastes so much better than store-bought. So I made a very simple and straightforward pesto with all the ingredients you would imagine are in there. And I actually had a few pine nuts in the freezer that I was saving for a special occasion, so I feel like this suited it perfectly. These are really easy to make. I just toast the pine nuts and then put everything in a food processor and give it a really good mix. And honestly, that's pretty much it. I make sure there's a little olive oil on top just so it doesn't go off, and this was truly delicious. Now, I do a lot of research for my food preps for the week, and I do a lot of browsing of my favorite content creators and websites. And I recently switched to Opera Air, a mindful desktop browser designed to bring calm and focus to our browsing. And it even has built-in mindfulness tools. Opera Air blends powerful browser technology with scientific mindfulness techniques for a calm, focused browsing experience driven by a mission to improve well-being. A little detail I like is the daily inspirational quotes that pop up when I open the browser. They always give me something to think about. It's no secret my mental health has been on a real journey these past few months, so having a browser that helps me to build mindful habits alongside achieving a balanced state of productivity so I can actually get my work done has been incredibly helpful. And I'll often take breaks to do their mindfulness exercises when I'm feeling overwhelmed or finding it hard to focus. I'm particularly fond of body scans, but there are also neck stretches, guided meditation, and breathing exercises to choose from. My personal favorite is the creativity boost. There's something about the steady rhythm that keeps me locked in without feeling overwhelmed. But there are 20 plus soundscapes to choose from, including binaural beats and ambient nature sounds, so I can always switch it up depending on my mood. So if you're looking to focus a little bit more and reduce some noise whilst browsing and find some mindfulness tools that would work for you, then I highly recommend checking out Opera Air. Their tools are always grounded in science and established methodologies. Check out the link in the description below. If you've never pickled anything but you've been wanting to, then jalapenos are a really great place to start. Just chop up as many as you want. You could start with just 3 like me, and then to a pot you're going to add water and vinegar and some salt. That's pretty much it. You can add obviously other things if you want to. I heat this up just to dissolve the salt, and then I pour it over nice and warm, put a lid on and put it in the fridge for about 24 hours before eating. I then prepped a very simple edamame and cucumber salad. This is very simple, and I just threw everything into a bowl with the edamame, some spring onions and some fresh coriander, and then I poured over about 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1/8 of a cup of rice vinegar. I would have put some chili flakes in if I had some Korean chili flakes, but unfortunately I didn't. So I just added the rest of the chili oil that I had, some sesame seeds and some sesame oil, and then gave that a really good mix. This is definitely good to eat immediately, but I just tend to leave it at least 10 to 12 hours so that all of the flavors can really absorb and mix nicely. Lastly, I made my apple pie oats. So I just put in things like chopped apple, some chia seeds which I had left over from a friend who bought them quite a long time ago when she was staying with me, some oats, and then cinnamon, clove, and some ginger. I forgot to buy some plant-based milk, and I kind of think they're a rip-off anyway, so I just tried to make some myself with some pecans. This is really simple. You're literally just mixing water, pecans, a bit of maple syrup, and some salt. I don't bother to strain this because I'm putting it into overnight oats, and it worked really nicely. I also put a few whole pecans in there too, and then I moved on to adding some yogurt. I'm still on my journey to try and find the best plant-based yogurt, and this one was one I was giving a try this week. Good morning. I ran out of time doing my meal prep yesterday, so I thought I would do a little taste test to just see how the yogurt that I chose did in this overnight oats and whether I would recommend it or not. I really like these leak-proof lids instead of the normal metal ones, because I find with the metal ones, if I use them for things like this, that they just go rusty quite easily, which I find very annoying. And then I just have to work pretty hard to make sure that I can get rid of that rust and it doesn't recur. But these leak-proof lids are honestly my favorite thing. They're also great because this is the kind of breakfast that I like to take with me on a road trip, or if I have something in the morning, or mostly for hiking. I find it really nice to be able to take this with me on a hike, just shove it in my bag, and then I can have breakfast either on the way or halfway through the hike. Okay, let's give it a taste. I really like all the ingredients in here, and it's a very simple recipe, but I do think that depending on how much yogurt you put in it, it can make quite a big difference to the actual taste, and also the plant-based milk. I didn't really want to buy any. I actually just think that a lot of plant-based milks are a waste of money, so I'm just trying to make them myself. So let's give it a taste. Okay, I'm actually really pleasantly surprised. I think when I tried the yogurt, it had a very strong flavor, which is why I wasn't quite sure how well it would do in this. But actually I put enough spices and things like that in here that it really does just taste pretty good. The biggest con to the yogurt that I chose is that it's pretty expensive, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to be buying it again. I'm unsure. I'm still on the lookout for one that kind of meets all the requirements of tastes good, or at least mixes well into things, and is not horrendously expensive. For some reason, plant-based yogurts just seem to be on the pricier side. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this and then I'm gonna show you how I like to eat that edamame and cucumber salad, because it's really, really simple. And depending on the weather, you can really change it up to whatever you like. Oh, I am so excited for this. I personally like to eat this with some warm rice because it's just, especially when the weather's not the best today, it's nice to have a mix of temperatures, textures, all of those kind of things. But if you wanted to have it cold, I think it would go really nice with some cold like soba noodles, or to be honest, any noodles that you have, and just mix it all together so the noodles get really nice and coated with the sauce. But that's the nice thing of making the effort to make the actual salad really flavorful, and then you can just add it to basically anything. I'm gonna eat this now, but there was one salad I wanted to meal prep yesterday that I never got around to, so after this I'm gonna make my lentil salad. I just like to have various different things in the fridge so I can mix and match, and I'm also gonna make a tahini dressing because that goes really well with that lentil salad. This smells so good. For the kale salad, I was too lazy to roast any vegetables, so I just took off some kale from the stalks and saved the stalks for a vegetable stock later. And then I put them in a bowl with some olive oil and some salt and gave it a really good massage just to make it a little bit softer for eating. Then I added in kind of whatever I had. So I did 2 cans of black lentils. Unfortunately, I didn't have a cucumber, but then I also had some tomatoes and then some red onion that I had left over. And I also added in some parsley, which needed eating as well. I mixed this all together and I added a balsamic vinegar. That's one of my favorites. It's oregano and citrus. Maybe a little bit more salt, maybe a bit of pepper, and just gave this a really good mix. Then I made a tahini dressing, and I keep this really simple as well. It's mostly just tahini, lemon juice, some salt, black pepper, a little maple syrup, and enough water to make it really nice and thick and creamy. I just store this in a jar and keep it in the fridge. It probably lasts a few days because we eat it, but this goes really nicely with a lentil salad. And if I had the time or could be bothered, I would 100% have made some fresh pita to go with it as well. That lentil salad is so nice. Things like that are really great for mixing and matching. So for example, if you don't really like red onion, you can obviously leave that out. Or if you like it, but you feel like it's a little bit strong, if you put it in a little bowl with some lemon juice or some vinegar and just put it in the fridge overnight, it really dampens that strong flavor and it's just a little bit softer. So it's kind of like you're pickling them, you're just taking some of that crunch and extra sharpness out of the red onions. I know that I'm not going to eat all of that salad today, so I just put some balsamic vinegar on top and mix it in, and I know in a day or so those red onions are going to just soften up themselves. But things like that salad, it's just a really nice way to have lots of different textures, but then get in your vegetables, add in some protein, and just whatever flavors you like. If I had a cucumber, I would have put that in. Unfortunately, I used them all. So anyway, part of my food prep I've been working on for months is trying to grow things in the garden. So I'm growing things like tomatoes, potatoes, chilies, rocket or arugula, lots of other herbs like basil and coriander, and then some fun things like tomatillos. And I actually have a random squash from last year just coming back to life. But I thought I'd give you a little garden update so I can show you what I am growing, because there is nothing more satisfying than being able to just pick some things from your garden and cook them in your own kitchen. I feel very lucky that I have a little bit of space outside. Most of it is concrete, so I use basically just grow bags, but you'd be amazed at how much you can actually grow in just a few little bags. My garden is most definitely my happy place, so I've been putting a lot of time and effort into it this year. So closest to the door, I have some rocket or arugula. This comes up really easily. It doesn't mind cold temperatures and it's almost ready to harvest. I also have 4 bags of potatoes, and I just used 2 different kinds of potatoes this year. Last time I tried to grow potatoes, I put them in a spot that was far too sunny and they did not like that and they died. I also have some strawberries. I bought these as just the root bearing ones. I'm not quite sure what they're actually called, so I don't think I'll get any strawberries this year, but hopefully they'll set good roots and I'll have some next year. I also forgot that I had some kale seeds, so I planted some of those as well as some peas. My peas are definitely a little bit late, but that's okay. I'm still experimenting and I can put some chilies in there if they don't do well. Now I have tons of tomatoes and a few tomatillos. Tomatoes always do really well in my climate, so I don't actually give them that much attention. And it's been raining a lot recently, so I'll probably feed them very soon now that I have planted most of them. My chilies are the ones I'm probably most excited for. I have 3 different types. I have serranos, cayenne, and jalapenos. My chilies never have done that well, which is why I started them really early this year. So we'll definitely see how that goes. But I am very excited. We definitely get at least a few every year, but they just tend to be a little bit small. So maybe I'm not feeding them enough, or maybe they're getting a little bit too much heat. As I said, I planted a few tomatillo plants. These do pretty well. I usually plant them out too late, so I made sure to plant them nice and early this year. And they just make the most delicious green salsa, so I highly recommend growing them if you have the right climate for it. I also have quite a few basil plants. I have one outside and then I have just a couple inside because I'm not sure just how well they're going to do in or outside, so I'm just giving myself the best chance to have as much basil growing as possible this year. I mean, look at the size of this leaf. It is humongous. I'm also actually going to plant some more seeds because basil does really well for a while and then it does start to flower, and that actually changes the taste of the basil and it's not as nice. You can of course chop it off when you see a flower forming, but sometimes it's nice to just have an abundance of basil plants just growing in little pots everywhere. They can be on your windowsill. You don't have to have a garden to have basil. I just live in a particularly good climate for basil because we get a lot of sunshine and a lot of heat. But I will keep you updated. I cannot wait to do the first proper harvest when we actually have tomatoes and tomatillos and chilies and things like that. But that's going to be maybe a few months away yet. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, especially just adding in some extra details of how I eat some of the meals. And if you have any questions or things you'd like me to add for the next one, always let me know in the comments because I read them and I always take on your advice and your questions and the things that you want to see more of, because at the end of the day, I love making these videos, but I also want you to find them helpful too. Okay, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.